Hello, 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 beautiful people. How are you today? Today is another podcast, Relaxed and Raunchy Relationships, with beautiful and awesome guests. Today, my guest is Perez. He is an author and he's been a motivational speaker since he was 18 years of age. So I reckon he is now, I don't know, 19 years of age by the look of his look. Because he has a very youthful look. I don't judge by age, but I appreciate people's expertise, right? So he is also an HBDI practitioner, master coach through life and leadership, certified professional on DISC, emotional intelligence, and motivators, and he has extensive background on projects and IT. He has spoken internationally and been featured in various media platforms. He is the owner of GP Thrive International, co-founder of Arise Business Network with over 600 entrepreneurs and professionals, wow, and co-founder of Zion Transformation in Sydney, Australia. Amazing achievements. Welcome, Jess.
Thank you, Ingrid. And guys, I wanted to just introduce Ingrid. She is an amazing person. And, she's the founder, relationship coach, and chief relaxation officer, the CRO, love it, of KAHYANGAN, which means heaven. It's a wellness clinic in Sydney. She has been a relationship coach for 11 years and a spa therapist for 21 years, mainly in the five-star hotel day spas in Sydney. So she is used to looking after thousands of highly stressed clients from all over the world. She practices from KAHYANGAN in Sydney and from clients' homes, offices, hotel rooms, and online. Her work has always focused on stress, relaxation, and relationships. She has a kind soul, always seeking to reach out to support the healing process for the many stressed people. Broken and lonely-hearted singles, stressed out parents, and loving couples that cross her path. She does one-on-one coaching sessions, group workshops, and soon retreats for the broken-hearted singles and for loving couples. Wow, what an awesome resume that is. Well, Ingrid, you are an amazing human being.
Oh, thank you so much. You're very kind. Right, Jess. So I am curious to know what is your why. I always ask this to my guests because it's such an interesting story learning from everyone. Everyone's just so different.
Absolutely. I think for me, for my why, and as cliche as it sounds, it's really for my family. The
Yeah.
why and the driven factor as to what I'm doing now is
Yeah.
through transformation. And funny or not, I used to be overweight, so I used to be about 101 kilos at the time, and it was like a couple of years back.
Yeah.
And I made a choice and decision. So you know what, I need to change my life, and the only way I can do that is through my choices. And I went through that journey. In 16 weeks, I lost 30 kilos, and from that point, I knew that I was destined for something greater to help more people through body
16
transformation.
weeks,
16
30
weeks,
kilos.
yeah, 30 kilos in 16 weeks.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I kept
Wow.
as well. And so a lot of that journey, and then the anchor for that was, if I can change my life, I can change others. But what keeps me going is, my kids now. Now that I've got two kids, I think it's a different meaning when you're having a relationship and you
They
have.
are very cute, by the way, people. And they're kids.
But yeah, so that's really practically my why that keeps me going every single day. That my passion fuels my vision, and my
Yeah.
vision, really empowers my purpose because it all goes together in that. So yeah, that's my why. So I want to put it back to you. What is your why, and why do you do what you do with such a great resume that you have over those years of experience?
I know. Well, I came from Indonesia, therefore the name of the business, Kayangan, it came from ancient Javanese language. So yeah, I came from the island of Java, and I was being conditioned in a very religious family. And
Mm,
I noticed growing up that it has instilled a lot of shame, guilt, and fear. And also some sort of like suppressed anger. That's what I observed in my childhood and growing up. And I feel like, oh, that's not quite me. It didn't sit really well with me, and I always wanted to go overseas. So by the age of 21, I decided that I will move to Australia to marry my first husband. Newsflash, I'm up to husband number 2 now, and hopefully I don't have to look for husband number 3. So yeah, unfortunately, that first marriage, after 10 years, I left because it was an abusive relationship, and I developed throughout the years, I developed the depression, anxiety. It was very, very painful at the time. But then after I left, I managed to reclaim myself. You know, I went on to my self-healing journey. I went to various self-development seminar. I went back to college to study counseling and life coaching. And straight away, I knew that I would be a coach and my niche would be in relationship. So then I could help similar people in a similar sort of predicament for them to heal and then strengthen their relationship. Then I was, very lucky to met my second husband, current husband, hopefully forever husband. We've been married for 12 years now with 2 kids. And then I feel like really blessed because during the first divorce, I lost everything material, right? And my mom said that, oh my God, Ingrid, how shameful you lost everything. But then, Mom, I gained me. I have me. Yes, I lost everything material, but I have me back. So that is the winning. That's the key. Well, it's up to her. She didn't understand then.
Yeah.
However, I felt that was the formula. The healing formula. So therefore, that's what I do now. I help broken-hearted singles to heal from their broken mess, to then hopefully able to attract the new loving partner, so then they can
Wow.
become the powerhouse couple that they deserve to be. Yeah, a lot of my clients actually have a little bit of depression, a little bit of anxiety, some trauma, like long-term trauma in their life from their childhood. And it's just very, very rewarding for me to help them heal those. Yeah, so that's my why.
Wow. It's so amazing. I mean, like the journey that you've gone through, and I think a lot of people would find such a breakthrough because you've gone through that road and you've experienced it along the way. And so that's what makes you, that's your secret sauce. That is your girl power move where you're
Yes,
going through the route. And there's a lot of people out there in the world that are looking for a way out or looking for ways to, have that self-empowerment. And you've experienced that. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people gravitate to you. You got that great energy. At the same time, you're there to add value to people's lives, and that's what makes you so unique. And that's the reason why I'm so blessed to be grateful that we have this sort of connection. So yeah, that's
oh,
amazing. I love
fantastic.
it.
Yeah, you're very inspirational yourself. Now, next question is I like to ask 3 tips. Obviously, we need to take or learn something out of the podcast. So, what are your 3 tips on mindset? I know you're big on mindset, and when it comes to life and business, what are the important mindsets that you can share, and also resilience? Lately, well, everyone whinging about COVID lockdown, challenging times, of course, for most people. So how can we be resilient in this challenging time?
I think it's really challenging in terms of where we are right now, but we are not dictated by the current circumstances because we have the power of control that's in front of us. And sometimes and this is the reason why mindset is really important, but
Yeah,
it also there's 3 key areas to always getting an outcome. Number 1 is the mindset, right? Number 2 is the skill set that is applied to the mindset. And number 3 is taking action. A lot of people are now having excuses of procrastination where if they gain a little weight, the COVID weight. So there's a lot of excuses out there that people, and it's inevitable, right? You're always going to have challenges. You're always going to have, issues and trials and tribulations and, roadblocks along the way.
yes,
But with the mindset and resiliency, it's all about making that choice and decision to be above that. And
yeah,
so people tend to think that, failure is failure. But for me, failure is only feedback. Right. And so the mindset always is like, yeah, I hit a brick wall and I fail and I get back. And you probably experience yourself where you have your highs and you have your lows, but you're
yeah,
still continuing on is because you found purpose. Right. And a lot of people are looking for that type of sense of, you know, well-being and purpose, but they cannot find it. But how do you connect that with mindset? Is that 80% is what we believe, the self beliefs, and you know, we've gone through that coaching journey, we've gone through the limiting beliefs, but to always to empower your mindset is really is, you know, you have today, and that's today is your opportunity. So like, your choices that you make right now is always going to determine your future and your tomorrow. We cannot change our past. The past is gone. But what you can do
Yes.
right now is, hey, I'm going to make a choice for myself. And the only way I can do this is, what are the areas for my life that's kind of pulling me down, right?
Mm.
That's step number one, is identifying what that is. Number two is, okay, what can I do to replace that mindset to
Yeah.
now it's going to serve me to living a better and, you know, a better life. And number three is taking execution. So how to become resilient, there's about like 6 Ds that I really want to cover real quick, and they're really simple and really basic. Is you got to start with the desire, right? If you want that epic life, or in business, you got to make that desire, right? You got to know your why, as we mentioned. You got to know your purpose and what are your values in life, you know. And then we got to be the one that's going to design, right? Design our own life, right? And that comes with your choices, right? So, you know, based on your environment you're in, that's the reason why it's important to be part of a network or a group of people who support you, that loves you. And, you know, the third D is you got to make that choice and decision, right? It's all about cutting off and say, you know what, today's that day, I'm making that choice, right? And after that is really taking discipline. I think that's the most hardest part, is building great habits. But once you start building great habits for your life, or particularly in your business, then you know that you're going to level up. Then you have self-development and have that resiliency and determination. And so resiliency in these challenging times is, a lot of people had to pivot, right? So many businesses have shut down. They've had so many certain takes and different challenges along the way.
Yes.
However, they're able to pivot. I've coached a client who had a cafe business and they had to shut down, and they couldn't do deliveries because of, you know, certain things that happen behind the scenes.
Mm.
So I came and coach him and said, okay, what are skill sets that you're really good at, that you know that you can use your hands to earn that type of money? And so with that type of insight, he went into labor work and
Yeah.
is able to put his skills into doing carpentry, right? And so there's always a way when there's always a will that's not done with human effort, but really honing into that desire. Okay, I'm doing this because of my family, because I need to put money on the table, right? Bread on the table.
Yes.
And so pivoting is really important, but resiliency is not giving up, always moving forward and owning up, right? So whatever it is what it is, but that's not going to dictate your future, right? It's what your choices and how you put in front of you and how you manage that. And that's how you can build your resiliency and your mental toughness.
Amazing. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, really important.
So
Resilience is really
absolutely.
important.
So for me, to you, Ingrid, is, you know, what is your one tip for resiliency? And then you being an expert in relationship, want to hear your thoughts on your tips for relationship for the single-hearted broker as well.
Okay, so I will answer the 3 tips for broken-hearted singles, but I will sneak in the resiliency in there as
Yes,
well. Okay,
please. I want to
so
hear.
number one, I will say pause and
Mm,
learn the lessons. All right, learn what the red flags were in
yeah.
your past relationship, because I noticed the statistics, right? First time marriage is like around about 60% failure. Okay, fair enough. You know, you don't have any experience. First time marriage failed. Okay, fair enough. But then, you know, 30% of people that've been married before, you know, second time marriage fail as well, and 12% out of that 30% actually been in previous marriages or relationships. So to me, it's showing that people haven't paused for a moment and learned. So they jump from one relationship to another relationship to another relationship and haven't learned. So it's really important to either engage with a relationship coach or a counselor to map out your learnings from the past, because otherwise just keep repeating the same cycle, the same pause. You know, my cycle back then was, you know, domestic violence, and I learned how not to repeat that and not to attract the same type of men that has that sort of issue, right? So number two is to clear your baggage. Honestly, if you go to your first date, second date with someone and you offload, it's like, oh, my past partner is like this, like this, like that. Like, is that going to be attractive to your potential new partner? No. So if you're carrying all this baggage, it's just draining, you know. Especially, you know, it's a potentially new relationship. You want to have fun to begin with, right? You don't
Yeah.
want to offload all of your life baggage onto your potential new partner. It's just too
Yeah.
much to handle. Not everybody can take that. So yeah, make sure that you work on yourself, self-healing, clear your baggage, then you go on to new dates. And then number three is self-sabotaging your new relationship. If you start going on dates and then because of your own fear, um, you start self-sabotaging. It's like, oh, you know, what if he left me? What if he cheats on me? You know, what if? And guess what? That's what you say to the universe. That's what happened. All right. So you need to trust the universe and be careful with what the words that you say here, and also what the words that you say here, and what the words you say here, because the three need to be aligned to attract the right person and to maintain the right relationship, you know, because if you're all about fear, it's not going to work. And guess what, in terms of being in a relationship, it is about trust. So
Mm.
trust that rejection is part of the process, you know. We have been speaking about resilience. That builds character. Rejection builds character, and that builds resilience. That's okay to be knocked back, you know, a couple of times. You learn from that, and what I need to continue doing or what not to repeat. So that built resilience, definitely. And also, don't be so quick in judging others. You know, this is about self-sabotaging still. For example, I'll give you an example. Someone I knew, he's an ageist, right? So he's around about 40 years old, but he only wants to date someone around about early 20s, right? He's an ageist. Anyone that hit the age of 30, that's it. No, not interested. You don't exist. Because of what? He thinks in his mind that anyone that hits the age of 30 is full of baggage. That's why my tip number two is to clear your baggage, because some people are so quick in judging others. I mean, that's their issue, right? It's not your issue, but it's up to them to heal themselves. So don't attract that sort of ageist people. But I'm just giving you an example that people can have that, you know. So try not to be so quick in judging others and sabotaging yourself. Not everyone is a douchebag. Like, honestly, not everyone is a douchebag. Yes, it is risky to open your heart again, but the reward is great. What if you end up attracting the right loving partner? Isn't it good?
Yeah. Can I just ask, like, I know this is really authentic, but how do you move on when you know you've got, you know, baggages? Because I know that a lot of people that watching this
Yeah.
are experiencing where, you know, how do they move on from getting hurt? And, you know, you mentioned about trust and things like that. How does one person move forward knowing that they had a bad experience?
Yes, so they need to link their values. Okay, what is it that you want the most out of life? Okay, I want a new loving partner. If that is high enough in your value, and you write what are the benefits of having a loving partner, new partner, and what are the drawbacks? And your benefits must be higher than the drawbacks. You know, if the drawbacks is higher than the benefits, then forget about it. You're not going to move on because you're still stuck in that victim sort of mode.
Mm.
Yeah, so that is mental exercise. You need to train your brain to think a different way, create a new pathway that actually there are a lot more benefits to attract new loving partner rather than staying in my victim mode at the moment. Yeah.
Thanks for that. That's pretty
My
cool.
pleasure.
Mhm.
Right. And people, here comes the fun part. I got some true and false statement from Jess. Let's guess together. Statement number one. Jess Perez auditioned to be an actor for a TV series. He made it, but Jess decided to choose his real estate career instead of acting. I wonder why he did that. And number two, Jess loves his oysters and has them every 3 weeks. Oh my God, oysters is one of my favorite foods. So I am guessing number two is correct. Is that correct?
No.
No.
So number one,
Yeah.
I did. Uh, my wife Hannah, she loves oysters. She
Yeah.
can have it every second day. For me, I
She's an experience. She's an expensive wife.
with all the caviars and seafood, she loves it. But for me, I love fish, but may not
Yeah.
be oysters. Yeah, but yeah. So number one is actually in fact true.
Uh-huh.
This is when I was based when I was 18, and I had that opportunity. However, I chose to went through in the real estate career because I worked with dad, and that's how I went into the property industry early in my career. But later years down the track, I kind of regret it. Why I didn't go through that way. But then it all led to this moment where now I'm becoming now I'm a motivational speaker, high performance coach. I wouldn't have done that if I was still, doing this. So it all happens for a reason, and I'm happy where I am. So I live no regrets. I think we all through this journey, and the choices that we make again always line up to our destiny. So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Ooh,
So I'll
lovely.
throw it back to you guys, those who are watching, and I want you to put on your thinking cap on, and I'll ask this question. Number one is true or false? Ingrid's clients stopped their session because they couldn't wait to apply the knowledge. And number two, Ingrid's clients stopped their session because their son got hit by a car. That's really a tough one, actually. Actually, to think about it, it's like good and the worst. But what's true is, um, I reckon. Oh, wow. Okay, I'll just hit it by the bullet. I reckon it could be dramatic. I think number two
Is correct?
is correct.
No, you are incorrect. Like I never wish in a million
Absolutely.
years that any of my clients will stop my session because their son hit by a car. So thank God it didn't happen. However, number one did happen, so that's the
That's
true
good.
answer. Yes. So in my coaching package, this for loving couples, I teach couples how to massage each other for relaxation and intimacy, and
Oh,
give them products and give them coaching sessions. And guess what? At the end of the last session within this package,
you couldn't wait.
uh, after I taught the couples how to massage each other for intimacy on that day, that's the intimacy massage, they said, yes, Ingrid, I think we heard enough now. Yes, we just want to go and do it. And you mentioned the word pivot. So this one happened
Definitely
after
pivot.
COVID lockdown or during the lockdown. So it was through Zoom, when people came to me, and when I teach the massage lessons, of course I normally teach them, okay, this is how you do this movement for relaxation, but for the intimacy part I normally put a room divider so they can't see me, I can't see them, they just see my hands, hey, yeah, do this, my hand gesture, they see next to the screen divider. But the good thing with Zoom is you can turn off your camera, so it can work. I have pivoted online, so through Zoom,
Really? That's
yes,
amazing.
I can teach through my voice. Just give more direction, be more verbal, yeah, and they can see me. So, okay, this is hand gesture. You do this, you do that.
But you know what? To be honest with you, you've got a soothing voice.
Oh, thank you.
Um, like you've got that. I think today I was saying to Hannah, I can't wait. We're gonna have this this session with Ingrid.
Yes.
And I just like how you get, hello, my name's Ingrid. You got that, and guys, those who are watching right now in this podcast, I really highly recommend working with Ingrid. Uh, not because of the it's not because of her energy is awesome, but it's just the soothing voice that you hear through your ears. It's awesome. So having that pivot with Zoom that's been turned off and you can actually talk it through. Yeah.
Yes, thank God for Zoom. You can turn off your camera so I can't see what you're doing. You can be naked, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can see me and see my hand gestures. You do this, you do that, and they couldn't wait to practice that.
Yes.
Hey, winning!
Oh, I love it. That's good.
Right. So last question now.
Yep.
What do you do to either relax or add raunchiness into the relationship?
I like the raunchiness. I think raunchiness has different type of meanings.
Okay.
But for me, the raunchiness through my wife Hannah is
Yeah.
really making time. As in, like I know as a business owner and entrepreneur and part of in a career, you get bogged down with a lot of things that's on your plate, particularly when you have kids and you have so many things that's around you. So we're always busy. However, how I add my raunchiness is to set date nights, and I do that with purpose. Even though and again, COVID's not an excuse for us. We have date nights even at home, right? When the kids are put to bed, we have like a movie and we have like our own set dinner date, things like that. But we try to be more creative, and that gives us more of that raunchiness because it spices the life through our relationship. And as a man, for me, for instance, is you got to be the man with a plan, right? So I think it's just that next level of commitment is you work in partnership.
Yeah.
But and you probably know, the opposite sex with a woman, it's quite different, right? They operate and they're wired differently. But for the guys, it's okay. How do I make the experience a lot more better, more meaningful? And doing that and being more creative and finding different ways, go to Google's, ask friends, but making the effort does make a difference.
Yes.
But actually executing on that effort changes the whole ball game. And that's how I add my raunchiness to my relationship.
Oh, fantastic. I think my husband needs to learn a thing or two from you.
Man with a plan.
I need to send him your way. Cool. Well, thank you so much, people, beautiful people, for watching this podcast. I hope that you've been enjoying this podcast as much as I do. I've been having a lot of fun. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you, Ingrid.
And next week, we will have more um, information and fun from different guests, either it's local or global, because I started this podcast during the COVID lockdown because I wasn't having fun. So I invited various business owners from various industries so we can connect and promote each other, because I really would love to, help and support each other's businesses. And the number one thing is to have fun. So if people want to, learn more about what you do and perhaps need some business coaching or, high performance coaching, how can they contact you?
Yeah, so we'll drop the links through this podcast. And so hit the comments below as well and DM, and I'll get back to you. But we've got great links. We've also got a great promotion happening on Motivation Without the Hype book as well. And I've got a free masterclass and ebook resources that you can link up, all completely free. So all the comments below will be provided for you guys, so you can check me out there.
Fantastic. All right. And if you would like to learn more about relationship, you can connect with me, www.kahyangan.com.au/contact. So you can request me for a free chat, for a 30-minute free chat. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and keep well. I'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Bye. Thank you so much, Jess.
Thank you.